yourself.
Never gets old. Never gets old. We gotta work out the kinks of that ending though. We definitely gotta figure out what's going on there.
Somehow at the end, you should show that I'm the main star, and that would be perfect. It should say Izzy
See,
Junior production. I'm just making up.
and just wait on it. I'm gonna get some more of my equipment back. We are gonna look filthy, but in a good way. If you heard that feedback from us, I was just trying to tweet that we are live, so you can just ignore all the foolishness that you just heard. But this is gonna hurt, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Hello, all, and welcome. Jesus Christ to the jeez. Hold on. let me redo that in
the suds.
In the words of the great Doug Franz. Man, Doug Franz used to be one of the bosses in Phoenix, Arizona. When he would have a voice crack, he'd be like, let me say that like a man. Let me say that like a man. Let me put some bass in my voice, but one more time. Hello, all, and welcome to the Heel Turn Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah Jackson Jr., who's sore. I'm not sick, just I'm losing my voice. These kids ain't playing with me. These kids are not playing with me. But alongside me, Devin Lee Crimes Jr. Devin, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing really well today because I ain't we 100% over here. That's what I got to say. We tribal chief mode, to say the least.
Oh,
I just wanted to boast because I was like, he came on here struggling. I'm like, see that's that determination, y'all. He ain't even have to do this, but he chose to because he wanted to, because he needed to. Me, I'm just me, has always been.
See, he said we in tribal chief mode. He was just like, see, even sick or healthy, I ain't showing up. That's what I heard. Sick or healthy, I'm just not gonna show up.
Hey man, probably we only show up when the moments we mattering the most. Like you ain't gonna see us till like what, Money in the Bank weekend ish.
Hey,
We cashed that WrestleMania paycheck, and I don't know. I don't know what the WrestleMania check was. So, but yeah, that's how we do on the island of relevancy. You wouldn't know because they kicked you off.
Well, but that's the thing. I'm on a whole other island. I already talked about the island I'm on. It's on 2K25. I'm whooping everybody. Everybody that I run into. They be like, Roman be like, whoop that dude over there. I'm like, bro, I already did. Like, what do you want me to do here?
I already did.
I'm like, I'm trying to squad up with you. But that's the thing. You talking about people that show up. And one person that always shows up is the boss. Justin. What's good, fellas? Hey, man, what's good, Justin? Justin, I have a question. I didn't bring this up to Devin, but I'm gonna ask this, and I'm gonna see if I'm gonna get Devin's approval. Justin, how do you feel now that Thursdays at 7 have kind of been at least consistent for us, at least for the next 2 weeks? For the past 2 weeks, we've been consistent. Justin, how do you feel about coming on next Thursday, excuse me?
Next Thursday. We already screwed. This is how it's supposed to go. The boss. Would you like to join us once again on a faithful next Thursday if the boss is free? That's how he over here. Would you like to do a show with us on Wednesday? I mean Thursday? My fault. I'm just. I guess you can see it's gonna be one of those episodes.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of these episodes. This man gonna be wilding and then blame me. Like that's how he do. This man get mad, he lashing out, and
he'll
be like,
see me wilding, and then he just don't. He don't. Most real friends will pull you aside and tell you like, hey, that's it. He don't be this.
No, they don't. They let you crash. WWE and AEW. They let you crash out before they turn your mic off. Wait, they be like, let's give him 10 minutes of crash out time before we turn his mic off. That's how it goes.
This is kind of true.
Jim Cornette, let him cook. Let him cook for a second. Let him do him. But Devin, you saw the text. You saw the rundown of what we talking about. The floor is your besides the last thing, the last two at the bottom. Those are the last two things we're gonna do. But outside of all that, what do you want to touch on first? What are we getting into?
I want to let's go to let's talk about how is the WWE and TNA partnership so far. And I know I read it the other way. That's me. I forgot what they call that. But if I want to put my stamp on that, I think the partnership is very well. And like I said, I always hate to bring up those guys across the street, but they had a partnership with TNA as well, AEW, and if I remember, it was really just Kenny, winning the TNA championship and bringing the AEW championship over to Impact a couple times. I may be wrong, but the way this deal is now with WWE and TNA, we seeing Joe Hendry. He been popping up on their programming from on NXT back last year. Popped up at the Royal Rumble. What great exposure is that? Who would have thought? In a Vince McMahon era, there's no way I would have. Well, I guess you did have the Knockouts champion, but you weren't seeing, both Knockouts champion and a TNA champion on Royal Rumbles like that. Not even that, having a match at WrestleMania even with Randy Orton. And look, I'll say this in my last stamp of how I think the partnership is going. I think it's going great because if you look at it, I know people will say Randy squashed Joe Hendry, but I don't know. I don't think he did. Because if it was a squash, it would have been like he would have came out, did his little thing, and then he got RKO. But he ain't got a lot of his stuff in, but he got a little bit of he ain't get his, shit in, but he got his stuff in.
You have to look before you cross the street, and he has to get his shit in.
They not too far away. Sometimes I be thinking she in the doing the Hogan. But to put all that in the bowl, I think that the TNA WWE partnership it's been really well, and it's been making a lot of sense. Even like with the Hardys, popping up on NXT, for instance, it's the Hardys, so of course they gonna always be related WWE to WWE. You gonna see them and always relate them to it. So even them popping through it, I don't, it's working out really well, I would say.
Yeah, I do think it's working out really well. Huge shout out to Justin. Say no more. I'm there. We got Justin for next Thursday, 7 o'clock our
I'm
time,
gonna do
which is
like
pretty
50
much right
push-ups that
now.
day, man. I'm
Look,
ready.
can't wait. Of course, it's gonna make this quiz a whole lot easier with Devin get dusted. Man, it's gonna be absolutely insane. Oh man, and a huge shout out to our brother Devin the Tribal Chief. What's good, people? Look, man, a huge shout out to Devin the Tribal Chief, man. He was on the program before, lit this place up, man. That is by far one of my favorite, one of my favorite clips. Where it's just like, well, I don't give a fuck
about his story, man.
I don't give a fuck. Like he was legit. He was serious. It got to the point where, and I think I told this story before. My sister
I almost cried.
No, like my sister, like WrestleMania month, I guess. She was all knee deep into like wrestler reactions, just telling me all these random people. She was like, yeah, I even watched Wheezy, the girl that we ran into. We actually made it to her vlog. But then she goes, yeah, I also watched Devin the Tribal Chief. And I was like, you watched Devin the Tribal Chief? It's funny you say that. I was like, because he's a friend of the program. But like Devin we see the numbers continue to rise. Exactly. We see the success, we see the growth, and we love it. We love it. We love it. We love it. So we got to glaze Devin when we can, because look, man, the dude is a legit tribal chief. Got to acknowledge the man.
From one Devin to another, I acknowledge you.
See, here we go. Devin got to make it by himself, man. You see, I was trying to give my man's praise, and he was.
I hated it. I mean, but I couldn't miss it. There's some things you just can't let go. Y'all was sitting there just like, I gotta say it from one Devin to another. If I was back there, I would have been like, hey, I gotta go out there and say that one part in the promo. I gotta say that one part. We only got 5 minutes. Hey, screw you. I gotta say that part.
You that dude that had a promo in the very first, like in the beginning of the show, you're like in the middle, like halfway, second hour, you like, oh, hold on, I forgot my line. I got to get my shit in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I'll be like, I may not never get this chance again. I may come on and they'll be, oh, you know what, Devin, we don't need you this week. You never know.
You never know. I'm telling you, you never know. Huge shout out to the Devin the Tribal Chief. I appreciate that, brothers. Hell yeah, bro. And it's always lit too, because I do like looking at the reactions, the reactions to the beginning of a Raw pretty much the Raw after whatever PLE it is. And sometimes we will see Devin the Tribal Chief. There was one time we did hear Justin say that they were on there. That was when we first started becoming friends and started communicating with the Circle of Debate. But after we stopped, being a little shy. So after we got out of our bubble, still a little shy.
He bust out his bubble. I'm just like, all right,
man. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that on air. We can talk about that later if it's cool. Because I don't want to say anything crazy, and
dang, he just came out of nowhere.
Well, I want to talk about it, but I don't want to be like, why would you say that to me right now? Like on something like, but like, it's not nothing crazy at all. But like, huge shout out to
I said I was shy. All right, go ahead.
No, huge shout out to Get Yo. Huge shout out to Get Yo. We got to link up with them pretty soon. And also with Justin. Justin says, I originally felt like it was a slight burial what happened to Joe Hendry at Mania, but it was all about giving him his first WrestleMania moment. Yeah, I mean, Joe Hendry,
while he's TNA champion.
Yeah, while he's TNA champion. The TNA champion, I don't think has ever had this many eyes on them in a long while. Joe Hendry, of course, becoming viral off of his song. Of course, he's also a really good wrestler. He was also wrestling in WCPW. You know that? What Culture? He was wrestling in their promotion. That's how far Joe Hendry goes back. I mean, how far? It ain't like it's 20 years ago. But that's how long Joe Hendry's been wrestling. For most people that think he just bust out just now. So you got to show love to Joe Hendry. Yeah, exactly. Not a lot of people are gonna have that WrestleMania moment and that WrestleMania paycheck. My boy got paid. Let's be honest. My boy Joe Hendry got paid. You could have punt kicked him. He didn't care. Like he could care less. At that point. So, although TNA, look, TNA is what TNA is what TNA is gonna be. Like TNA is what TNA is. I don't think TNA can't go down. Like they could have I don't mean to be nasty with it, but they could have pretty much just crapped all over the dude, on TV, and yet the TNA championship and the TNA champion would be what it is the next day afterwards. Like I don't think TNA could go any lower. If I'm not trying to be disrespectful to TNA, but I think this partnership only rises it because of guys like, well, let me share it right here. If we could just skip over to our next topic here, if I can press the right button. But if we can move over to the Trick Williams, because in his words, he crashed out on Joe Hendry on TNA when he popped up and attacked Joe Hendry at TNA Rebellion. Devin, you see this?
Yes, I do. I was looking in the wrong spot, but I see it.
Oh, geez, now my screen froze. There it goes. Of course, Joe Hendry successfully retained the TNA championship, pinning Ethan Page in a match that also featured Frankie Kazarian, his old ass. But just, of course, TNA had their rebellion, had it going on, and Trick Williams came through, and in his words, he crashed out and popped up and kneed Joe Hendry in his face after Joe Hendry popped up and pretty much called him a bitch on NXT. So
he might pop out tonight.
And he might even pop out tonight. And even in saying that, going through with what Trick Williams has done and the great work that Trick Williams and Ethan Page have done, this is a whole lot of fun, this partnership. And it's only, like you mentioned before, Kenny Omega. I feel like that partnership was only, I'm not saying it was only for Kenny Omega, but pretty much just made it about Kenny Omega. He's the belt collector. He's just here just collecting belts. He's grabbing the TNA championship. He didn't even hold it for that long. So with this whole turnaround, we could be seeing an NXT superstar win a TNA championship. This could be a whole takeover. Literally, I'm bringing this bitch home with me. Like this, how cool this could be and how awesome this could turn into. Just the plethora of ideas we can have. We can have a TNA invasion, an NXT, and we're already kind of having an NXT invasion going on. Hell, Obafemi, when Joe Hendry was speaking up to him, don't let what happened to Moose happen to you. Why you got to be disrespectful like that, homie? Like is that deep now? We're starting to get some spice here, and I think it's only going up, and it might make me watch TNA. It might. I might sit down and watch TNA.
It's sad it took WWE to hold their hand for you to watch it, man. Cause see, my thing is, as great as this partnership is, where was this leniency back in 2009 or 8 or 7. Why I couldn't get like AJ Styles and John Cena back in 07 back then?
I
It could have
told you,
been even fire.
my grandparents were still alive, so they look, man. It was. I told you, my grandparents that they saw TNA on their TV screen once, and they was like, no,
The era I'm literally referring to aired in high definition. How old could that be? How
No,
old could that
I
be?
said my parents were still alive as we were watching wrestling together.
Oh, I thought you said grandparents. I was like, well, dang, it ain't
Yeah,
this
my
old.
grandparents are still alive. I
Look,
thought Devin was just like, man, your old ass. He was like
this man was like, I'm like, dang, it was just 2008. What was you doing? But no, the point I'm trying to make is, oh, what's good? See, I as soon as I was like, the point I'm trying to make is, but that's what I'm saying. I was watching it when it was like I said, Thursday back then on Spike. You know, when Christian Cage ran out of stuff to do, he popped over to TNA. Kurt Angle, obviously, he popped over there. You had Sting there because he wasn't going to WWE yet. Only thing it's Samoa Joe, which will, lead to him later. What I'm trying to make is, I guess I'm so excited as everything you just mentioned, like potentially, like say if Trick Williams pop over there, him and Joe Hendry get it to a point, they get a title match, and say if Trick does beat him for the TNA Championship, for instance, now he's an NXT champion, superstar, and also a TNA like it's possibility, it could happen. He could cross the line, as they be saying. But
yeah, you go
I
ahead.
guess, like I said, the excitement of this is making me go, man, imagine like if, maybe like 10 years ago, if they made like better decisions, we could have got like, I don't know, life could have been just stuff flying, cars would have been more efficient. We wouldn't have had no pollution because we would have got Sting versus The Undertaker back in like 2010 or something before, Undertaker became Undertaker. But no. So, I'm just going to prosper and be grateful for what we got now, but I'm always going to be hurting thinking about what we could have got back in the day.
Honestly, and even going to what Devin the Tribal Chief is going, he said, wait, you not watching TNA? See, that's the thing.
That's
Yeah, I was like, one of us has given TNA their hard-earned money. I, for one, I watch pretty much the TNA reactions. I don't watch the show. I get what happens based off the clips. And I was even talking to Devin about this because Devin was like, hey man, I ain't gonna lie, you might have to get into this subscription. And I was like, man, it's looked like it's coming to be that point. So even with everything going on, Devin always tells me, bro, you got to watch TNA. You got to get into TNA. And honestly, I have been so disrespectful. It's me. I'm the bad guy. And now, honestly, they got my attention now. I'm ready to watch I'm ready to go deep into TNA for sure. Even Justin comes in and says, before the partnership was officially announced, it felt.
This is how far back we go. That's how far back we go, man. See, you went out there during these days. You went out there in that 6-sided ring. You wasn't doing it like me, man. You just wasn't. You went out there with the Kurt Angle on the cover. Look at that. Who is that? Hold on. Let me get this right. You got Samoa Joe, he one of the Opps now. You got King Booker, Look at he already doing Then you got AJ. And you got Sting. Come on now. You was loaded back in the day. You was just sitting up there just, I only watch WWE. My stomach can only have enough of WWE.
Well, I'm sorry. If I had $5.99 at the time, I would have bought it. I would have paid for it. I'm sorry.
It was full price when it came out. What do you mean? This is before all this stuff going on now. That was it was at the same price as SmackDown versus Raw now. Just had to get it a month later.
I just had to get it a month later. See? And honestly, and even going back and watching, because like I've talked about this before, I was new. Like I had to watch Circle of Debate to get into New Japan Pro Wrestling, and then of course that had to lead me back to going back to watching Okada matches. And I'm like, man, this dude's a demon. I'm like, this is some demonic work going on here. And so like even going back and even looking at some of the not only TNA highlights, but going back and watching some TNA shows, watching Jeff Hardy spaz out of his mind. No disrespect, but he was. There was one time I forgot what show it was, but at the very end, he's like singing his own theme music, and I'm like, all right, brother, like you might need to go to sleep. You might have to lay down after this one. But you kept the receipt.
I have every receipt. I have every invoice.
You kept the receipt.
All right. I learned from the best. What CM Punk say he did? He kept every receipt, every invoice, but people like to play in your face and say
You
you
kept
did
your,
stuff you didn't. This is how I'm trying not to put my real information out there. But you remember this place? This is how old this is. This is how
is
old
that
I
game
am.
crazy? Oh, that's
Yeah,
sick.
yeah, crazy, man.
That's
Let's
sick. That's sick work. So it was
PS3
$5.99. Is
game
what I'm
crazy.
hearing. It was $5.99.
It was full price. So that should
What
tell
is
you everything
full
you need to know.
price? What is full
Full
price?
price, man. They wanted 50 for that thing. So
Man, that's sickening. That
it was a better it's a better game than AEW Fight Forever. I will say that till I'm blue in the face, and I can't even do that.
I played a
I will
trial
say
of
that,
that.
man. I will
I,
tell everybody until they can't listen to me that TNA. I will play that right now before I install AEW. But I'm sorry, I digress.
See, man, yeah, I was reading Justice text. He disrespected me, showing me an equivalent to NBA Live, and this is how he repays Justin. This is how he repays Justin, man.
Ain't even a true comparison whatsoever.
This ain't
But
even a true comparison whatsoever. You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. Justin Justin did say before the partnership was officially announced, it felt a little weak, but now it's on a whole different level. Still would love to see wrestlers from other companies winning the opposite championships. I do. I would love to see it. I want to see more of it. I think WWE would do a better job at it, honestly. Not trying to pick sides here, but I do think they'll do a whole lot better job. Lord comes in and says, I was watching when CM Punk was in TNA. Look, Devin might know. And
see,
even Devin, the
see,
tribal chief, says, I go to their shows every time TNA comes to Cicero Stadium. That might be the move, Devin. Honestly, that
see,
might be the move.
see. Look at all. See what I'm saying? See all the stuff you've been missing out. I don't care about TNA.
Well,
I only like TNA because I seen a WWE Championship on it.
Devin, let's ask Devin a huge question. Me and Devin got plans to make it to see Samoa Joe take on John Moxley in a steel cage match in AEW. Of course, that's happening in 2 weeks in Chicago, Illinois. Devin, are you gonna be there? Me and Devin definitely got plans to make it. And look, I'm sorry. Every time you go to an AEW event, you're gonna have some good seats. Let's be honest. Like Devin, well, I was thinking about that firsthand. As soon as we walked in, Devin was like, "Oh man, I got this. This is kind of nice. This is kind of nice. I could see Mina Shirakawa close up, like closer than usual. I don't like. Isn't that what you said vocally?
It's funny because it's kind of what you said, but you know, I'll play that. I'll play that part today.
I'll play that part today.
You know, he
Well,
say all that, but he was mighty quiet when Jamie was out there.
man, Jamie was beating the brakes. Jamie was beating the brakes off of Queen. What's it called? It. Let me tell you,
See what I'm
putting
saying? Queen
putting in the work,
Aminata. Look at this. This is just disrespectful all around. And they talk about
putting
me.
putting in the work. Yeah, I'm talking. Yeah, I got to talk about. Well, okay, let's talk about this. Samoa Joe, of course, going 1v. Oh, look at this, Devin, the tribal chief. I tapped out on AEW, so I can't tap. I couldn't tap out on TNA for years. You can tap out on
It ain't
AEW.
just me. It's a Devin thing. You see what I'm
Look,
saying? But I still look. I still respect. Oh, I don't even cut you off. But
we skip a
just seeing
segment.
that make me. I feel better. Cause look, man. Look. AEW is gonna be AEW for AEW, and I appreciate that. It's fine, and I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna have fun. You know, but I ain't gonna be sitting up there, getting my blood pressure high no more. I'm just not. So if I want to know, I feel the
Well,
same way. I ain't. They actually did the arm thing for me on AEW. That was
you tell me. You tell me what's going on with AEW. What is the biggest issue with AEW? Lord comes out and says, he says 10 will get you commentary seats in AEW. Look, man, I'm telling you.
be right
I
there.
heard,
So they kick Tony Schiavone out your spot.
yeah, I was like, I heard everything Tony Schiavone said. Like the only problem we already said what the problem was. We could get into that a little bit later. But Devin, what is the biggest issue with AEW? You being, of course, the biggest AEW hater, known to man.
I ain't the biggest AEW hater. That's CM Punk. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't put nobody out there.
AEW hater.
But no, the biggest issue is like they don't want to grow. They don't. They don't. And you can't tell me that they do because if they wanted to, they wouldn't be downsizing stadiums or they wouldn't be trying to bring in less people or bring up an excuse or we don't want to go to a smaller building because our set's so big. Man, no, you stop making excuses. WWE, they literally broke down their set to fit more people in. How that work? Your issue, oh, we got this big old set. That's why. But The biggest issue, as I just said, they don't want to grow. And I say that because it's like, look, they drive people away. They drove me away. I mean, I
They
ain't gonna
throw
lie,
me away. Yeah.
drove me away a couple of times, but it ain't never been to this level where I'm like, I put it like this. With AEW, it's like they'll say it, not say it in my face, but they'll claim and say like, this is where the best wrestle. This is the best. This is the best. That's blah, 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 blah. All I hear is the BEST. That's all I hear. That's not what I see though. And like I look at a TNA and like TNA been around for a while, but they don't be walking around beating their chest saying this is where the best is at. They just know that TNA, look, this is who we are. We're professional wrestling. If you like our stuff, cool. But we ain't gonna tell you, that our cereal tastes the best. We just gonna let you eat your cereal, eat our, whatever. It's just when AEW stand in my face and constantly tell me that they the best at everything, and I'm like, cool. Why don't you just show me? I don't need you constantly telling me, oh, this is the best place ever. This is where the best go to wrestle. Just do it. And I feel like I've been saying that for years. Like, just stop talking, y'all. Do it. Like, I ain't gonna lie, Tony Khan been doing better because I ain't been really seeing him crash out on social media. So that's a big plus. And that was another thing. He need to step away. That, you know what? I take that back. I'm gonna hand it to you. I'm sorry. The biggest issue I'm hiding away. The biggest issue with AEW is Tony Khan. That's what I'm gonna say. Cause it means all right. But he need at least another. I don't know. He needs somebody just to hold his hand with this, man. Just like, and I ain't trying to say it in a disrespectful way. It's just like you want to get this right, don't you? Like, don't you want this to be successful? I know you enjoy doing it. This is, something you love. Well, don't you want it to grow and be for set to go on for however long? Look at WWE. It's been going on longer than me. So my thing is leadership, Tony Khan, and they need to start to make moves to grow. Don't just stay in your little niche audience, because I mean that's all you're gonna have, and quit, kicking people away when they don't like something.
Yeah, that is exactly where I'm going towards. Devin, the Tribal Chief, says AEW is built to be seen live, but not for television. That's a fact. And even then, like,
live in your backyard.
That is the crazy part. And we talked about it after the World Rumble when we were on the Get Your podcast. We talked about how sometimes when you go to, not even sometimes, most of the time when you go to a wrestling event, especially WWE, you be cheering for people that you don't even care about. It's probably a bathroom break for you when you're at home. But man, the minute you get, like, you care so much when you're there. But like, and that's pretty much how it is when you see a whole lot of it. So honestly, I think you hit the nail on the head for most of it. Surprisingly, I'm shocked. No, I was playing, but like it's one. I said I was just playing.
Hey, he said you come on here all this time. I'm surprised you know what you're talking about.
Well, honestly, but I do disagree with one thing. I do disagree just one thing. I don't necessarily think it's all Tony Khan now, because like you said, he is improving. He is getting better. Like I will judge him on the booking standpoint, but like you said, he's not crashing out old people. He's not coming out there from when I went to the Phoenix, Arizona AEW event. Are you ready for the greatest AEW event of all time? Like, calm down. Like, relax yourself. Like,
turn the Brian Breaker out there, y'all.
Yeah, like he came out before the show. It came out after the show. Said the exact same thing. Isn't this the greatest show you've ever seen in your life?
Yeah, see, that's too much.
Like,
just put this
brother,
show
relax yourself. Like, he moonwalking. Like, calm down. Like, it ain't even that deep. And so, like, looking at how this whole thing is played out, like you said, their thing is just they're trying so much to stick to. They can't take criticism. They're exactly what They're exactly what old folks talk about when they talk about the new generation. I think that's exactly what it is. When old folks talk about, oh, that's that new generation, they're sensitive. They can't take criticism. You say something about them and they just hating. What's a good example of that? Jim Ross. Man, y'all get together and quail up. And this is just stupid. It don't work. And everybody in the AEW locker room had a problem. Every time Jim Ross spoke up, they had a problem. Every time CM Punk said something out of place or spoke up, they had a problem. And every time, well, Jungle Boy, he spoke up, but CM Punk got a problem. That was the problem. And so, honestly, you just can't take criticism. Like this John Moxley stuff it's been cheeks. It's been awful for months. for months and months. We haven't seen the AEW title. It was in a briefcase. You know, it's getting stale. It's boring. It's dry. Like my throat right now.
Say the
I'm in
title.
pain.
I am the title. I am the AEW champion.
Right, exactly. He's like, you guys want to what do you want to see? What do you want to see? Like, bro, like I don't want to see you. That's the thing. I want you to go home. He's like, I just want you to go. Like John Moxley leads to another conversation that we're gonna talk about later. But honestly, it gets annoying. You don't listen to your fans. I feel the exact same way I felt about WWE when Vince McMahon was in charge a couple years ago, showing us random golden eggs, you know, turning Nikki Cross into Nikki ASH, even though
she became women's champion.
Yeah. Stop it.
Not many women can say
Stop
that.
it.
I'm just saying,
like yes, that's true. And yes, she also said she had a part of that too. But no, this isn't okay.
What's his name? Ezekiel?
Yeah, Ezekiel. Zeke. Speak with Zeke.
I'm sorry, the last one I ain't mean cut you off. Remember that one dude that was always coming? Pause. Every week.
Whoa.
I'm so serious, dog. You remember that dude, Veer Mahan or something? Like there was always like Veer Mahan is coming.
Oh yeah, Veer Mahan is coming. At first, I was so confused. I was like, bro, what? Like,
I was like, please let me finish this. I was like, please, before you do anything,
we are on YouTube. We are not on the program.
I was like, it was.
You ever seen that one video? Like, no, I didn't. Like, no.
He just answered me. I don't know what Devin talking about, man.
Right. I was like, I don't know what happened here. We just got kicked off.
Turn don't represent these ideas. Like, what are you talking about?
We just got kicked off out of nowhere. It's all Devin's fault.
But that's to show you how wild that era was.
But honestly, like, yeah, we going through so much. It just got to the point where, and we got reviews on that. You can find that. We got reviews just of WWE fatigue. So this isn't even us picking sides. Like we were sick of WWE stuff. We saw Sami Zayn in the mousetrap at WrestleMania. Y'all thought y'all was pissed about this freaking main event. They were doing bull jive 2 years ago. And we were pissed about it. So honestly, it gets annoying. Like it gets irritating. And honestly, that brings us to the first thought that brings us to Lord, who comes up and says wrestling doesn't make money. Characters make money. Tony is not a character creator or storyteller. Hey, I can't think of one character that Tony's created that was successful so far. And in terms of like championship wise. I can't think. Hologram ain't we ain't seeing nothing from Hologram, not for a while. He ain't making
that is an incredible point. Because I mean, ain't nobody selling t-shirts just based off wrestling alone.
Exactly.
The t-shirt don't say I wrestle. Okay. They say yeet. They say, never give up. All this other stuff relating to their character. The wrestling is just, it's a big part of it as well. But that was an excellent point you made.
Yeah, it was excellent. And then Devin says, and then there are wrestlers are oralists. For example, MJF, Mercedes Moné, Adam Copeland, and so on. I do love me some MJF, but MJF is definitely just he keeps saying the same old stuff. It gets annoying. Mercedes Moné can't talk. Mercedes Moné is so stagey to me. Cope is, Cope is 90 years old.
Cope, man. That's all you can do at this point with him.
Cope just looks like a skeleton, man. Like he's scary. Like, and I'm talking about on the face. Like it doesn't look chiseled to me. It looks scary. So
rated R superstar.
This is what we're getting. Christian talking about people's dead fathers. Okay, we get it. Ha ha he he. It's cool. Like, I don't really like even going back to the wrestler fatigue that we're gonna talk about later on. I yeet less now. Especially now that he champion. Well, that's because I could care less about Jey Uso now. Jey Uso could go on somewhere, man. He get on my last nerves. But that brings us to wrestler fatigue. We've seen a whole lot of MJF saying the same old stuff over and over again. We've seen too much of Mercedes Moné, and she keeps winning. In the words of John Cena, and winning, and winning, and winning. Cope shows up, gets injured, leaves, come back, repeat. It just gets annoying. And then, of course, the Young Bucks. Bro, I turned on the show yesterday. The Young Bucks showed up, the very first match. I was like, well, I guess I ain't watching AEW for the first 40 minutes. Oops. I would just miss this segment because I refuse to give them brothers another viewership. I almost pulled a Booker T. I refuse to give them any type of viewership.
You talking about me?
Like the Young Bucks get on my last night. Like I can handle Kenny Omega. I don't mind Kenny Omega. To me, Kenny Omega can wrestle. But the Young Bucks, it's the same thing over and over again. You already know what they're gonna do. And honestly, as Devin the Tribal Chief said, auraless, and they suck. So that's I got to get that off my chest. That's pretty much the biggest issue with AEW. That's the biggest issue with AEW too. People think they're bigger than what they really are. Mercedes Moné, I think Heyman, Adam Page, the Young Bucks. I do think there's a lot of Swerve Strickland. I do think is huge. My man on Vlad TV. Come on now. Real ones know what that is. Swerve Strickland on Vlad TV. For Swerve Strickland with the culture. I'm expecting to see Swerve Strickland on a Jeff T podcast soon. If he didn't already.
Jey Uso was on there.
Yeah, Jey Uso was on there. Jacob Fatu was on there. Swerve Strickland gonna make his way there. Swerve Strickland gonna be there.
But he's gonna have Chad Gable on there. I'm done.
Not El Grande Americano.
No, thank you.
That's crazy, honestly. But yeah, AEW, they get on my last nerves. But this also leads us to our next conversation. We'll get to Samoa Joe later. But is wrestler fatigue a real thing? I think that's a huge question to ask. And Devin, in the words before we get into it, wrestler fatigue is in terms of just seeing the wrestler so much. Another word for it could be go away heat. We just want to see you get the hell away from us. Just go away somewhere, get out of our TV screens. Devin, is there anybody or any people that come to your mind that you have that has wrestler fatigues?
You already mentioned them earlier, the Young Bucks. I don't know when the last time I watched anything with them because I learned my lesson a long time ago. So they're at the tippy top of my list. Tippy top. This because I had to think about this because I had one person, then I was like, I'm kind of in between because I ain't gonna. I'm gonna be a very outlier on this, and somebody might even try to do something to me, but it is what it is. I be sick of Rhea Ripley sometimes.
I agree.
Because it's just like, for instance, like the build to WrestleMania, friend, it felt too forced of trying to bring her in after she just lost the championship, and I'm like, she could have just probably not lost the championship, and and Bianca could have won the Chamber. You could have had something with EO to bring her in as well. I don't know, and it's just I'm good. And then it's like as soon as EO defended it, who was the first person in her face? Not Bianca. It's real. I want my belt back. Okay, like you just had it, and you had it last year. Then you got hurt, and then you had to go get it back. I don't know. And then when you got people like Isaiah's that like put her like Andre the Giant compared to everybody else, it's like, well, I can't really have fun because this is the amount of fun I can have. Because as soon as we try to go up, a little bit, that you can't go no past Rhea Ripley. What are you doing? So I don't know. Sometimes I just be thinking, maybe just a couple months, just chill out. But in my third one, it ain't really fatigue, but I'm starting to get a little tired of this dude, The Rock. I'd be good if he just don't show up no more. If he gonna do what he just did this year, I am good. Like why you can't just do like last year, Rock? You come out and say, you can do all that little bull drive and say, oh, yeah, we pivoted, we did this, we did whatever. Look, if you're gonna start something, finish it, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Well, that's it. I'm good.
Wow.
Because he came out, he couldn't show up the WrestleMania, but he could show up the NXT and waste my time.
Honestly, well, he realized that he couldn't play a part. He had to back away, as he said. That's what he has to do. He looked out for you and for me and for us, the people.
He was doing what's best for me. That's
right. I forgot he was doing what's best for me.
Yeah, I ain't gonna realize it yet. I gotta shut up and just sit on for the ride, even if it takes 10 years.
That main event was The Rock's fault. That's what we got to tell ourselves. That main event was all The Rock's fault. I'm happy about the result, but
see, man, imagine they swapped them events, man. You had Braun Breaker come out there at the end with Seth. I'm just, who knows? It's going now. 42, we on the way.
Devin the Tribal Chief says AEW really exposed their egos in the wrestling business. That's 100% fact, and that's the thing. Yeah, they really exposed their egos and they got exposed. It only took one man to do it too. He also says, "Yup, because I got tired of AEW." Look, man, AEW. Well, even yesterday, I was texting Devin. I was supposed to do a AEW reaction show, a post show, and I was watching it. It was 8:30. I'm like, brother, I'm watching this show. I can't even finish this show. I was like, I think I'm about to go to bed early because that's what they doing to me. I was like, because I could care less.
And good old evening.
And their main events be just a huge question mark. Lord comes in and says it's only fatigue if their stories are not interesting. And I like that. I do like that a whole lot. But that's the thing. With that, the characters, the wrestlers I have that pretty much I definitely have some wrestler fatigue with. Of course, we looking at Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch get on my last nerve. She make me sick. I'm so sick of seeing this lady. Like, she's been gone for 2 years, and I'm still sick of seeing her because it's the same thing over and over again. I'm understand you the man. You run this place. You can talk somewhat decently on a promo. It's not as fiery as it once was. If we can keep it a stack. I don't think we're seeing the same Becky Lynch. We're seeing a watered down Becky Lynch. This is the same man that I've seen, the past 4 or 5 years.
I love it.
Like, I'm not a fan of what Becky Lynch got going on. It's honestly just bothered me for a while, and for her to come back and potentially be in this Intercontinental Championship picture already, I don't like it. Of course, you mentioned Rhea Ripley. I do like that. If we could go NXT, I'm sick of seeing Roxanne Perez on NXT. I'm with that with everybody. Like, Roxanne Perez could definitely get that phone call now. There's so much. You have already done so much with the woman there in NXT. I think it's best. Now they got you with Io Sky. You're teaming with Julia. You're already flirting with the call up. You're already flirting with Raw. You're flirting with main event. Just bring your ass up there already. Like, what's with the hold up?
For real, I told my barber today. Like, she been in she been in NXT since Mandy Rose was champion. Down that was however moons ago. I mean, I'm a different person since then.
Honestly,
she been ready for a while.
She been ready for a long while. Like somebody like JC Jane, who's been there for a while. I wouldn't mind if she stayed there a little bit longer. But that's because I don't think they've ever given her a true identity. It was just like, all right, you with Mandy Rose. All right, now let's get you a faction that's similar to what you have previously, but you're still playing the same role that you was. You're not necessarily a leader, and you're still getting hold by Fallon Henley. So what are you doing here? What we doing here? So honestly, as this whole thing is playing out, there's a wrestlers on the WWE side, Rhea Ripley, the Roxanne Perez's, hell, a little bit of Trick Williams. Trick Williams just now, like at first I was a little fatigued with Trick Williams. Now this whole thing with him going to TNA, him with Joe Hendry, him and Overfemi got to end a little bit. Him and Overfemi definitely got to end pretty soon. I'm getting sick of seeing them touch balls. But even going to the AEW side, hello, there it goes. Lord even drops in and says Jericho fatigue is a real thing. I never wish an Achilles injury on anyone before. That's sick, but I mean,
that's what that fatigue will do to you, man.
Yeah, I was like, I can't fight you on it. Chris Jericho definitely the fatigue.
Man, I've been so tired of him, I forgot about him.
Yeah, he said he was gonna take some time off. Thankfully, John Moxley fatigue. He gets on my last nerves. I'm ready to see him go. Death Rider fatigue. How about just get rid of the whole faction? Let them go away on an island somewhere.
They can go where the Blackpool Combat Club went.
Right, exactly. Go where they went. The Young Bucks could follow them too. The Young Bucks can definitely follow them. I don't have Will Ospreay fatigue yet. I still love seeing Will Ospreay. Yeah, I love the work I love what Ricochet doing. I love what Swerve Strickland doing. I don't have MJF fatigue just yet. I did have MJF fatigue when he was BSing earlier with Jeff Jarrett. I was like, bro, okay, you can definitely leave. Like, you can definitely go home.
That was random.
But honestly,
you're not John Cena.
Hangman Page fatigue a little bit. I'm a little sick of Hangman Page fatigue. I'm a little sick of Hangman Page. Lord comes in, blood in every match fatigue. Yeah, back to the back fatigue. I'm sick of. Yeah, I guess we could be sick of that too. Like it's a low. I definitely think we could be sick and tired of seeing people and not necessarily wanting them to be fired, not necessarily wanting them to, wish the worst from them. We just want to see them go away, sit at home for a little bit, collect a paycheck, revamp, and we got to see something interesting for the long run. We don't want to see you disappear. We just tired. We just tired. That's all it is.
What Roman say? It's the same thing over and over.
It's the same
Sometimes
thing.
you change up, man. Sometimes cut your hair or something. I don't know. Cut your mustache off. Shock them when you walk in.
Huge shout out to Devin the Tribal Chief, Facts Lord. Huge shout out to the acknowledgement as well. He says fat Okada fatigue. Okada, yeah. Look, I seen the clip of that match where they was doing an elbow drop. They would just evade the elbow drop, and one person would come in, elbow miss, and I'm just like, yep. I'm glad I turned this match off. I was like, I'm really glad I turned this match off. It was needed. So even with that quick synopsis, do you still think Samoa Joe could be the savior of AEW when it's all said and done? If he could beat Jon Moxley in Chicago?
I believe so. I'm standing on it 10 toes deep because then Samoa Joe could be talking about or like some chicken or something, and it'd be more interesting than what I've been seeing with the DeathRiders. Like they literally suck the energy out of the building. Like at the end of the show, I be sitting there thinking like, well, shoot, what am I gonna do the rest of the day? I know this will be perfect. Samoa Joe with the Opps, he got Powerhouse with him. Is that Shibata also with him? He got a numbers game. That's what I'm gonna give him right there. But I hope so. I hope so. If it wasn't gonna be Swerve or if it wasn't gonna be Cope, thankfully, it's gotta be. Well, if it wasn't, I forgot about Powerhouse because even he tried. I don't know. Somebody got to do it. Because if not, I'm gonna have to do it.
Ethiopian Adam Cole fatigue is crazy.
I go out there and hit him. I be hitting that Moxley in the club.
That's crazy.
You don't never see. Look, I got the black shirt on too. I already look like like I'm in the what they call. I feel like they do this all day.
You be
get
bleeding?
yourself right. Yeah, you be bleeding and stuff. They be like, you gotta bleed before you get in here. We play baseball with barbed wire bats. Okay, I'm done.
I do think Samoa. I don't think Samoa Joe could be the savior. Samoa Joe already won the AEW title. Well, I think he beat MJF, right? He choked
did at World's End.
Yeah, and honestly,
then he went to go do Twisted Metal.
Yeah, I was like, and honestly, we didn't see too much from that afterwards. I did like the promo when he was just like, "All right, I got the title now. Now y'all can stop bitching." It's just like I'm the man now. I'm the captain now. That I did like that promo. But other than that, I don't think Samoa Joe did. So I can't think of anything memorable with his title run.
Orange Cassidy over Jon Moxley.
At this point, but Justin, huge shout out to Justin. He came on the program. Well, he didn't come on the program at the time, but he texted in and he said that he said that he believes that they could potentially hold this title on Moxley until Darby Allin comes back, till he's done pretty much defeating Mount Everest. Which, what's the point? I don't want that to happen. I don't want to see that. The first thing I want to see is Jon Moxley drop this belt to Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe quickly drop it to somebody else, and we finally get some stability here. Like I don't mind anything with the Opps, but we already ran this back with Samoa Joe. It's kind of like how they did with Moxley when he beat CM Punk for the title, and then pretty much had another reign on top of that. And it's like, brother, we don't have to do this again. We don't. And granted, it wasn't a long run, but it's like, bro, we don't have to do this again. So is Samoa Joe going to be the savior of AEW? I do see him losing this match, unfortunately. And if he does, it still shows how tone deaf Tony is and how he doesn't want AEW to succeed. I'm just going to say it right there. You just don't want AEW to succeed. So even in saying that, I think it's time that we bring out the book.
That's my final answer, and I'm saying it with my chest.
You saying it with your chest?
Yes.
Your chest is correct. Final answer?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Wow.
And I'm me.
So I got like the old man, like kind of like fighting now because I'm a little, it's been some years. So I'm a little, seasoned now. So it's like, you just rock a little slower. You know, you a novice should be kind of like all excited. That's how I was. Now I'm kind of like,
you see how he nervous evading this book, man. You see how he nervous.
oh, how? I'm like, I'm as solid as a rock right now.
Whoa,
Pause.
whoa. Well, first, we talking about this. We talking about videos, about people, what they doing, and now this man, I can't believe this dude. Thursdays at 7:00, man. It's when he just can't hold it. He just can't hold it in, man.
Look, man, let's just
look. We gotta get it. We gotta get into this book here. This book is a book I haven't opened up in a while. Of course,
I'm supposed to be scared.
It's the WWE Encyclopedia of Sports Entertainment, the newest edition. Of course, I bought this. It was mad expensive. I ain't had the money for it, but I still paid for it. This one came out in 2020. So I got this when I was in Arizona. I'm sure it was in Arizona when we got this. This guy here, Devin. We're gonna go back. Of course, I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint about him at the end if you get stumped. This man is 5'7", 167 pounds, from Manchester, England. Signature move, running drop kick. Running drop kick is the signature move.
How much he weigh again?
167 pounds.
Somebody was like,
so here it goes. British cruiserweight competitor, brings an air of sophistication both in and out of 205 rings.
Was that dang, what was that guy's name? Wasn't it like Jack somebody or something?
Oh, I don't know. He's like, I don't know. You want me to keep reading or?
I hate this dude. You see how attitude he? I don't know. Like he could have just said, "I can't give you that." Like he could have been professional. He just.
I don't know. I only know when we give up. I don't know.
This one already kind of got me in the woods.
I could keep reading if you want me to.
Yeah. I just thought I could probably get those straws.
Known for his technical wrestling prowess, he is a master of numerous submission holds, and he used them all to earn a shot at the Cruiserweight Championship at Fastlane 2017.
What was that name? I can't think of this other guy name. Wasn't it like Maverick or something? He was like a real small looking dude. Dang. It may not be him, but I cannot think of his name. I don't feel like cheating right now.
Here's the last hint. If you don't get this, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Despite falling short, the WWE Universe loved this man, particularly when he humiliates opponents using his trusty umbrella.
Yeah, I can see him, but I can't say his name. You know,
and Lord,
he ain't gonna appear.
I believe you are incorrect.
See, I ain't even looking at the text.
Unless this is this dude's actual name now, because I know he probably had to,
because he had a mustache. He was real short. He ain't wear no knee pads. You know, I'm being real descriptive here. I can't remember this dude. I just can't. I remember the umbrella and all that stuff. Then we found out he was a creep or something. Oh, that was the other dude.
He showed nope. You're right.
Oh, it was him. Yeah, he was like the gentleman. He was Jack somebody. Gentleman Jack Gallopiner or something. It was something with a G. Come on, man, give me a half a point or something. And he be stingy. It's the first time in a minute, and he's stingy with these points, man. I already gave you. I told you what he looked like. Everything. You know, this is a police search.
We finna have Justin on next month. We finna have Justin on next week. And this man over here, he begging for points, man. Is he gonna do this next week with Justin? We gotta find out on the next episode, man.
Hey, I can't believe this. It's the first question, like, you know, I'm trying to like warm him up here. But yeah, I just got the Gentleman Jack. That's all I got. I can't remember the last name.
I'll give it to you, Gentleman Jack Gallagher.
See, I did say Gallagher. Whatever it was, you heard me, man.
You say Jack Bubligar. What do you mean?
Yeah, like Bubligar. I was like, it's something with a G. All right, you know what? We got this. I'm feeling confident now. It was a little shaky, but we figured it out almost in the end.
Second question: what was Van Dongo's first name in WWE? The name he started with. I'm looking at him.
I thought that was the name he started with. When did he debut? Before he debuted? Wait, what kind of stuff is this?
When he won the season 4 of NXT.
Dang, see, I wasn't watching that. NXT didn't start popping to me when they started streaming. Crap. It ain't the name he go by now. Cause I don't even know the name. This is crazy. Where you get these, man? Let me check. Let me see that book one more time, man.
Let me see that book one more time. Unfortunately,
I got the book. It sounds like a book from 2020. I'm gonna have to pay. I really don't know. I'm gonna be
Johnny
honest with
Curtis.
you. Johnny Curtis is insane. I don't know why I didn't think that.
Well, here I'm looking at it here.
I believe you though.
What was JD McDonough's name when he started in WWE?
It was Jordan McDevlin. That's why his finisher was called the Devil's Side.
Well, I got Jordan Devlin itself, just Jordan Devlin, not Mick, but you know, I got
y'all put a Mick on there.
I don't see no Mick on here.
I'm probably a little hungry. That's all.
That's Jordan McNugget. I knew that for a fact.
My fault. This is the McDonough, McNugget, but Jordan Devlin. Why I call him? Yeah, I did call him. I was trying to tease it. They were gonna change his name one day. It's still Jordan Devlin. They just put a McDonough on the end.
Honestly, and shout out to Lord Curtis. That's a fact. My boy's name was Curtis. Johnny
Payne.
Curtis. And look, even going through with okay, this might be a little tough.
You say that.
Now, this man was released from WWE.
Aaron Corbin.
This is a blast from the past. And if you cannot get his answer, if you cannot get it right, as we go on, I'll give you his finishing move because it kind of gives it away. And I think that should probably be the one that says it all. So the neon streak of light blazing through the night air is this man. An accomplished, huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I could have. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
An accomplished lucha libre star in his native Mexico. The speedster first began wowing the WWE universe as part of NXT. He formed a tag team who was responsible for ending the dominant. Final answer?
I'm sorry. No, he's not from. Let me stop. I guess I be thinking you done. I'm gonna be quiet.
The daring duo was responsible for ending the dominant NXT Tag Team Championship reign of the Ascension.
It wasn't Sin Cara, but it was like the other, like Kalisto. No, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with Kalisto. I can't really.
Oh, final answer?
Just diving deep into the library. Yep, I may be wrong.
It is Kalisto. It is Kalisto.
I ain't got nothing to say. We seasoned veterans. We don't get that excited no more. We used to.
We seasoned veterans. It's crazy.
We just like turkey. On Wednesday night, we seasoned.
Here you go. This should be a layup. In 2004, nope, I'm not gonna read that sentence.
Lakers couldn't buy
one. He often interrupted the interview segments of others and verbally accosted Jim Ross.
Amen. Sound though.
Final answer?
No, I'm just kidding. I just really
like,
remember.
Man, final answer. This dude wrong, man.
I just remember him just like cutting people off. I'm sorry. Go ahead. That was my dude, man. Should have been
This man's initial success led to several title opportunities, most notably a chance to win John Cena's WWE Championship. After Cena rebuffed his attempt in a one-sided match, this man was drafted to SmackDown.
What was the first thing you said about him?
He often
interrupted people.
Yeah,
Damien Sandow.
Final answer, or you want me to keep going?
Oh, okay, yeah. Keep going. Just one more piece of detail, then I'll finally be for certain.
You would definitely be for certain because he was last seen at Great American Bash.
The latest Great American Bash?
That was not this latest Great American Bash.
Oh,
No.
gotcha. I'm sorry. You know me. I just be,
No, you're right. I had to be specific.
Great American Bash. And he went against John Cena at one point?
He went against John Cena at one point.
He used to interrupt people. Great American Bash. And he used to interrupt people. And he had a match with
last seen at the Great American Bash.
I'm missing something. Not you, but I'm like, I feel like it's something you said. I probably just, my mind just didn't hear it. Man, it's throw a whole cork in my screw, man. What was I gonna say? Dang, it ain't Damian Sandow then, because that thing wasn't even around no more when he was around. Great American. Damn, what the
Great American Bash 2005.
Dang, this is some wow. Man, I got something in my eye. I was so shocked on that. 2005, bro. I was doing, I was eating on my fingers at that point. I want to say I don't know, man. He had a match with John Cena. And then when you say he went to SmackDown after that?
Yep. So he didn't fight John Cena at the Great American Bash. He fought somebody else.
Okay.
Right. After that, we just never saw him again.
It wasn't Carl. Oh, you. Was it Carl? I mean, I gotta see Carlito now, so it's hard for me to want to say it was Carlito, but wasn't it Carl? Wait. No, he wasn't around after 2005. I'll take that back. Let me shut up. Was it Carlito's bodyguard? Jesus?
A final answer?
Yeah.
Now, and that's the reason why. Well, I gotta say no, you're wrong. But the reason why is because the last two sentences pretty much give away the answer, because they say joined by his manager Davari.
Oh, it was the Great Khali.
The last match he fought was against the Undertaker at Great American Bash, where a bunch of quote unquote
Muhammad Hassan. Wait, I guess I never knew that he was.
Yeah, he became a teacher after that. He had an interview. He said,
that I did know. I did know that. I guess I didn't know. Dang. I feel so terrible now.
Hey, I'm reading the book. I'm reading.
I know it matches up as I'm going on. Like, 2005. I'm like, well, yeah, I didn't see that man no more at the 05. He was at WrestleMania 21 with, I forgot what they were doing. It was something stupid, but yeah.
Well, here
they did that crazy stuff later on.
We're gonna do 3. Since you only got 1 wrong here, you're pretty much been.
It's been fun though.
Hey, I got 3 questions. You got 3 questions. You only got 1 wrong. You've been killing it 2 out of 3. But right now, I want to do PLEs. So I do think this is pretty cool. And we're only gonna do 3 of them. We'll get into the dream match for a little bit, and then we can call it quits for today. Devin, these were Cena's words prior to the first edition of this pay-per-view when he pitted Ryback in a 3 stages of hell match.
Say that one more time. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I was too excited.
Blank.
I thought it was Battleground.
Blank should be hell. Those were John Cena's words prior to the first edition of this PLE. Well, now that was a pay-per-view, which pitted Ryback against Cena in a 3 stages of hell match.
Payback.
Final answer.
The payback will be hell. That is my final answer because Battleground don't make sense.
Well, yeah, I guess I should have never said that sentence, but yeah, payback is correct. Going on to this one. Held just 3 weeks before WrestleMania. I can't give you that number. Can't give you that. You're too good with numbers. I can't give you that number. I could give you the match card. I can tell you what's on the
give me the match card.
I'm not gonna tell you.
Give me the main event.
So held just 3 weeks before this specific WrestleMania, the first pay-per-view provided one final unexpected barrier for those thought to be on the easy street to the show of shows. WWE World Heavyweight Champion Triple H accepted a challenge from Dean Ambrose, putting his spot in the
Roadblock? Not Roadblock, but yeah, it was that old Boo Boo. No. Dang, it wasn't Roadblock. It was like Stomping Grounds or some crap, ain't it? No, that was later on in that year. Because you said it was before WrestleMania. I remember it, but I can't. Because it was after the Royal Rumble when Triple H won for no reason. The heck was that pay-per-view? It was. The heck was that pay-per-view, man? I'm trying to. That's some ugly stuff. I can't think of this now.
Divas champion Charlotte puts her gold up for grabs, as well as Natalya, who was sure to have.
Not Crossroads. I'm sorry.
Can you let me finish this sentence? Like this man just let me.
I know because I know the show. I just can't. It's stupid because that's why they only did it once.
This show of shows Royal Rumble. Well, I'm like, oh, let me read it. Let me read it. Nah, it's all cool. I think you pretty much got it.
Was it like, all right, my final thing is Stomping Grounds because
Stomping Ground. Final answer.
Yeah, I sound so unconfident.
So I don't think not Fastlane either.
Because I respected Fastlane. I didn't respect this show. So it was either Stomping Grounds or Crossroads, Block Road, Roadblock. It was Roadblock, because think about it. It was a roadblock. It was Roadblock, because think about it. Sorry. It was Roadblock, because think about it. You're on the road to WrestleMania. And you even said it in there for it to be like, an impedance. That sounds like a roadblock to me. That sounds like a roadblock. So I'm going to put my answer down as Roadblock.
I already said you were wrong. It's too late. I already said you was wrong. It is Roadblock, but I already clocked you in as wrong. I'm sorry.
He waited till I got this epiphany to do this to you, man. See,
I was like, final answer. I don't know. It's Block Road, Cock Block. I don't know. It's something. It's like
I said Crossroads. I'm about to do Cody Rhodes move and stuff.
Here goes last one.
It's the one that counts, right? It's the one for the money. This the one for the Baconators.
This one, I need the PLE. I need the pay-per-view and the year. Pay-per-view and the year. The year when it first
and the venue they was in. And how many tickets they had.
This event ran for 3 years in the May slot on the pay-per-view calendar. John Cena headlined all 3 editions. The first 2 in his specialty. I Quit match.
Over the Limit.
What year? What was the first Over the Limit?
2010.
Final answer?
Yes. That is my final answer.
You are correct.
I told you. Oh, shit. No, let's chill out. I heard seasoned veterans. I lost my AirPod. Yeah. Give me a second. You ain't gonna take me away from just
I can't believe this man's trying to celebrate. I tried to hide this man on screen, show myself, just showed him.
Well, see, that was the thing, because I was hoping people could still hear me from, because the microphone is my AirPod, so the AirPod was like in my armpit, so
yeah, we just heard. Yeah. I'm celebrating. I'm happy.
Let's just look at it this way. What I was gonna do, I'll save for next time when I'm more prepared. I want it to be like this guy.
Honestly, look,
I'll keep it professional today.
I'll keep it professional. I don't think that's ever happened. I don't know. I don't think we've ever gotten there yet to the professionalism part.
He's hating shit.
I'll be struggling. I'll be struggling with words nowadays. Look, my throat hurt. I'm sick. Look, I got that excuse that I'm going with.
And I'm not gonna shoot me, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Cause he did, and I smashed that book. I don't care what anybody said. I closed that book so loud. The librarian told me don't ever do it again, and I said, "Well, lady, I ain't gonna be in here again." So, yeah. I had to clean it up.
Well, you did solid. You did solid. Look, I can't wait to see what you and Justin have in store for us come next week. I think that's going to be really, really fun and exciting.
That's when I might.
Our dream match music isn't working right now. Don't know why. I'm not gonna fight it. I actually just throw it in post, make that a whole lot easier. But Devin, the dream match we have here for today. Braun Breaker taking on Brock Lesnar. I can't do the Paul Heyman voice. My throat hurt. Devin.
Brock Purdy. No, I'm just kidding. Whatever he said that one day. That was a good one that day. He caught me off guard. But yeah, Brock Lesnar. Are we talking about two Paul Heyman guys?
Going into this match.
I got Braun Breaker. I know that sounds insane. And I know it sounds insane. Because I think the thing is, I think we done seen all we could see from Brock Lesnar. But I don't think we seen all we could see from Braun Breaker. Because think about it. He only been in the game. He only been on this scene since his first debut match in NXT was 2021. I think when it was 2.0, he went against LA Knight and he mocked the flow with him. So the point I'm trying to make is I think Braun Breaker gonna have the youth on his side. I think he gonna have more explosion on his side. And I don't even think Brock Lesnar gonna be able to execute the F5 on Braun Breaker. I think Braun Breaker gonna flip up out of that spot. Man, get off me, dog. Hit him with a Frankensteiner out of that thing. Line him up with a spear, take the straps down. Hold on. He take the strap, he start hollering. Ah! He gonna start doing that, and it's gonna be over. So, I'm sorry. Braun Breaker, we done seen Brock Lesnar fall to some spears. But has he ever taken a Braun Breaker spill before? I don't think so. So I got the dog. Braun Breaker taking on Brock Lesnar and coming away victorious and really submitting himself as the current beast incarnate.
And see, here's why you wrong, and here's why you just wasted a perfectly good shirt ripoff. So that's the problem. That's the problem.
I'm trying to feel like this dude, man. He was on his skins and shirts for years, and I'm like, one day I'm gonna get myself in shape, and I'm gonna get over here with my shirt off. But I'm gonna let you tell me why you wrong.
No, it's like it's a shirts off environment. It's a shirt off environment. But even with all that you said, which I don't necessarily disagree with, Brock Lesnar was the first Braun Breaker. The way they was talking about Braun Breaker now, they was talking about Brock Lesnar. Look at this young talent. Look at this young prodigy landing hardcore Holly on his head. Over here just murdering people. Like, he was a dog. He came through, just beat up the Hardy Boys for no reason. Murdering Spike Dudley. And then F5 in the Big Show, having a boring ass match with Goldberg. And then, of course, having to come through and beat up your GOAT, Roman Reigns. He beat up your GOAT so bad, he had to throw the title at Vince McMahon. I don't even want this dirt. I don't even want this no more. He said, I'm tired of fighting bums, man. I'm sick of this. Bro, what was Braun Breaker at in high school? Doing push-ups, doing something useless with his life. And that's the thing. Brock Lesnar's been doing this. Brock Lesnar is the man. We seen him hurdle Goldberg when Goldberg tried to hit him with a spear. Don't you think he could do that again? I think he could. I think he could do that against Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker is fast, yes. But Brock Lesnar is not some little weak punk that we have here. Brock Lesnar is all muscle. I've just been seeing Braun Breaker spear a bunch of kids. These guys are kids compared to Brock Lesnar. Compared to Brock Lesnar, they're kids. Roman Reigns, monster of a man compared to me. Compared to Brock Lesnar, kid. Child's play. And so that's what we're looking at here. Braun Breaker go run into Brock Lesnar and separate his shoulder. Because Brock Lesnar is just that much of a man. Okay, maybe I'm going too far. But just looking at how all this is fared out, we got a UFC background. He could take down Braun Breaker. We could see him leaving him laying there like Randy Orton at SummerSlam. Leaving him laying there like John Cena at SummerSlam. Leaving him laying there like Randy Orton, like Roman Reigns at what you can name any WrestleMania. Yeah, I was like,
this man was laying people out at SummerSlam, man. Yeah. The Rock.
And remember, he was having quick matches. Samoa Joe was trying to choke him out for 40 seconds. Man, let me just F5 you and go home and get on top of my wife, as I was talking about. You ever seen that UFC clip? I'm gonna go home, get on top of my wife. Yeah, man, that's Brock Lesnar. He don't play no games. He finna make light work out of Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker think he finna do something. He finna have maybe 5 minutes of pressure on Brock Lesnar. So Brock Lesnar lean up with his controller and start playing for real. And realize, hey, bro, you're just a kid. Good luck next time. Now you sitting here laying here because you had to challenge me. That's where I'm at. I don't care. You can name any Brock Lesnar you want. You can go to past Brock Lesnar with the ugly ass back tattoo. That was the only tattoo he had. We could go to any Brock Lesnar you want. Brock Lesnar in 5.
Well, that is a compelling argument.
That's a compelling.
But do you think the tipping of the scales will be who gonna have Paul Heyman in their corner?
Oh, that's a good point.
He don't need Paul Heyman in his corner.
That is true. Brock Lesnar don't need Paul Heyman in his corner at all. He saw Roman fiddling with Paul Heyman, and he said, "That's all right. You know what? We got to get the young guy over. Might as well just let him do whatever. At least let me get in my little car and make."
I guess I'm picturing them.
Off the
Like in
ring.
2022 saying that. It was kind of funny. They was trying, man.
They was trying to take Roman down. And look, I mean, in Roman, honestly, you got to give him a whole lot of credit. He stood 10 toes. So you got to give
with
credit.
A dislocated shoulder, man. Get out of here, dude. Brock Lesnar lost to a dislocated shoulder tribal chief. You think he gonna beat a fully shouldered Braun Breaker?
Yes. Yes.
Then again, Braun Breaker spilled Roman, and Roman still eliminated him though. So I guess what am I talking about?
We can't forget the first 5 years of Roman trying to be the big dog and getting the brakes beat off him by Brock Lesnar for a split second when they were going back and forth.
Hey.
But honestly, as Roman became the tribal chief and Brock Lesnar got old and continued to be in Minnesota. What was it? Not Sacagawea. What's it called?
Saskatoon.
Saskatoon. I forgot what it's
Saskatoon. You ain't gonna see me out there, but yeah.
Out there. Ain't gonna see me out there. You ain't gonna see us out there either. But it's just that's one of the things that I really, really thought to point at when it comes to Brock Lesnar. Just the growth. You picked up what I put down. You picked up what I put down.
So I was like, I'm trying not to laugh.
But honestly,
saying that it's 8:21.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it's 8:21. We had a whole lot of fun. Our work here is done. Devin, I don't even have your music ready. See, I wasted that perfectly good bar.
I don't need it.
Nothing.
Because I already got another show for the people.
You don't need it. I bet. Is there anything that you want to say before we close this show out?
Look at that acapella. And look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, I finally done it. I joined Team Skins. And is this a professional look? It probably ain't. But it don't matter because it's towards the end anyway. Ain't nobody gonna see this. It might pick it up on the thumbnail. But if they even saw it, they gonna tune in. They gonna tune in when they see the traps and whatever muscle. I may be pointing to the wrong muscle. But I ain't gonna make this about me. I know he said that earlier. And I'm gonna try to stay away from that narrative because it's false and it's not a true thing whatsoever. But ladies and gentlemen, it's been your boy Devin Lee Crimes Jr. And I'm not gonna keep you too long because it's Thursday. I know you ready to get to Friday because I am. Only to get to 2 days after the weekend and start all over again because that's the part we like. But I'm gonna hand it back over to the number one hater in the world, and he got to disclose whatever thing he was trying to peevo earlier. Cause I don't know, I was kind of scared for a minute. I thought he was like, yeah, man, it was like a group of 5 people, and they was all saying you got a little wiener, and I was like, man, what happened? What? So we had to go on with the show, but that didn't happen. I'm just throwing that in there. I handed over to the number one hater, Isaiah Jackson Jr. The shirts in this Shirts and Skins match this time.
No, I would say no.
I gotta get my Burger King.
I'll say it. But I thought. No, one of the things that we were talking about earlier was I was out of town just recently, and I didn't see the text, and you was like, "Oh, bro, what are you on? We got a text that somebody wants a song," and I was like, "Oh, bro, I'm gonna be out of town. I don't think I'll be able to do it." And then at first in my head, I was like, oh, "Okay, I think Devin might do it." As I was literally on the road when you text me, so I was like, "Oh, Devin might do it." I was like, "Definitely, Devin finna get clout. Devin finna have people ha ha he." And then I didn't see Devin. I was like, wait, what happened at first? But we explained it. We talked about it. And of course, we talk about how busy of a man you are and the work that you put in. And of course, it's tremendous. Look, I mean, just look at this. Look, this doesn't happen by night. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't happen by night.
I felt bad. I was in the middle. I was trying to do my mile run. Well, actually, it was 2. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be dead after this. And that is what I was. I was dead. So I'm sorry. But
I didn't want to make it seem like I was just like, oh, Devin. I didn't want to make it seem like I was just like calling you out. And
hey, why we here? I don't mean like this. I put like this. I'm gonna try my best, absolute best. As you can see, I've been trying everything I can to make myself to the point where, how can I say this? You will see me in the heel turn community. I just, I am a shy person, but I ain't gonna lie. This whole platform has helped me kind of break pieces of that away and. See what I'm saying? things occur in life and kind of I have to start that journey back again. So we on the way back up one more time. So the next time this man is out of commission, I will be in commission. I was out of commission last time, but this time I will be because the next time I do that 2 mile, I'm gonna still pop up. But y'all wouldn't want to see what was that day was. So I was out.
Well, look, we're trying to get more consistent, and look, Thursdays have been the consistent so far. 2 weeks in a row. We've been on fire with the Thursdays, but this time we got a background. You know, this time we look a whole lot better. We got our
Thursday
stuff
is the
back.
money day.
We could get our shit in. So it's like, and also on top of that, we want to connect. We're gonna have Justin on next week. You know, I'm trying to get into a circle of debate. I want to get back into Get Yo. You know, talk to them some more. You know, like I definitely, like Devin said, we want to get involved a whole lot more. We could potentially be going live over the weekend, and we might have a surprise for that certain episode as well.
And y'all see how he try to do me? He be trying to, like, you know, y'all see how he clown Jey Uso, right? You see how he do him?
Because he a bum.
You know, that's not why. Because he's not a bum. He's just not takes a chicken or whatever. But yeah, I'll just put it this way: I ain't ready to be main event Jey Uso. I'm more of a Jimmy right now. I'm Big Jim. You know, I'm having fun on SmackDown.
I'm more of a Big Jim. I'm not main event Jey Uso yet.
You know, we're gonna get there though. But I'm Jim, so you're gonna see Big Jim every now and then. Pause.
Dang, you know what's crazy? He said he changed.
Been taken out.
He said he not main event Jey Uso. You know what Jey Uso has to do to become Jey Uso? He had to try to take down Roman Reigns. Devin gonna try to beat me up one day, man. Devin gonna be. We're gonna be on camera. Hey, I was gonna say something. You know what I'm saying anyway.
No, it's not even that. I'm gonna be like, deuces.
No, I was like, if anything, Devin gonna try to beat me up for this. Devin gonna be treat me like Tony Atlas, man. He gonna be stomping on my face.
It's just the sound alone is just terrible, man. All you hear, anybody could do it. You'll be like, what? You'll be thinking CM Punk doing it. He's like, The Rock, you come out here to do your bush. You
be doing that for cameos. Happy birthday, Jimmy. Like what? Like what are we doing, bro? Like why'd you pay for this? Who paid for this?
That's what The Rock gonna start doing. The Rock and Tony Atlas. He gonna be slapping his arm.
Ooh. Also, I thought about this as well. I'm also going to be in touch with Wrestling Jeopardy. Wrestling Jeopardy was something that me, Devin, and my sister did over the weekend. Well, during WrestleMania weekend, and I want to do a little bit more of that. And I also, my sister said she wanted to be involved as well, whether that's being a mediator or also joining along in the quizzes, because she's the one that put me on to it. I feel like it'd be bogus if I'm like, me and Devin got a new segment and the person that part of it isn't involved. Yeah, it was all my idea. Thanks, guys. Yeah, like I refuse to do that. We're gonna have our sister involved. I'm gonna email Wrestling Jeopardy, and also look, I know my fair use rights, so obviously we're gonna have a whole lot of fun with that as well, and we're gonna get permission from the big guy himself. So it's hour 23 in. We got our stuff in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Would appreciate you guys enough. First off, before we dip, huge shout out to Devin Tribal Chief, huge shout out to Justin, huge shout out to Lord as well. Just amazing guys that hopped on as well. Circle of Debate is live right now.
Lord was speaking facts.
Circle of Debate is having a watch party for TNA. I gotta watch TNA to be a part of the watch party, so I should be sticking around for them as well. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.